Pete, big news. Chris May and the athletic department moved way quicker on this one, I think, than the women's basketball hiring. It seems like he kind of knew what exactly he was looking for, and he found her. And it's someone that we brought up immediately. It's Andrea Beaty. She's been announced as the new head coach of the St. Louis University volleyball program.
Yeah, that's right, Zach. She was on our short list when we went over potential candidates, a month ago. I think the original announcement was December 13th. I know it was mid-December. It was right around there. So it looks like in just over a month, they went from the announcement of Kent Miller is firing to the new hiring. To give a little background on her, Andrea Beaty spent 2 years at SLU playing under Ann Cordes and then Kent Miller. Then she transferred to Missouri State for her final 2 years. At SLU, she was A10 Rookie of the Year as a freshman, first team All Conference as a sophomore, so she was a big loss. Then a two-time All Conference player at Missouri State. So coaching stints at UTEP, Syracuse, and Denver. The last two of those also included interim head coaching positions at Syracuse
No, at
because
Denver. Oh wait, no,
at Syracuse
and
because
Syracuse. Oh, I didn't
yes,
know
yeah, because the coach was let go.
that. Okay.
And then at Denver, she was hired as associate head coach last year, served as interim head coach while the existing head coach underwent cancer treatment.
That's right.
She led them to a 19-12 record and coached two first team all conference players. She was named to the American Volleyball Coaches Association 30 under 30 list last year. She spent 4 years as the head coach at St. Francis Borgia High School in Washington, Missouri. After graduating Missouri State in 2015, she racked up 100 wins in 4 seasons there, 4 conference titles, 4 district titles, 2 state semifinal appearances. She's from Pacific, so she's from that area, attended Washington High School, and was a 3-time All-State selection. Also played and coached for the Rockwood Thunder Volleyball Club. So, Zach, like we said, she was on our short list. I think we had 5 or 6 names on there when we talked about potential candidates a month ago. You've got some direct experience with her from your SLU volleyball days. What's your opinion of her as a person and as a hire?
As a person, I mean, off the charts, great person. Got to go say hi to her at one of the timeouts during the basketball game on Saturday. Couldn't be happier to see her. So excited to see her get a chance here with Billiken Volleyball. I think, as a hire, uh, I think she brings that mentality that Ann Cordes, you know, Ann Cordes recruited Andrea Beaty. Ann Cordes knows that Beaty brings the mentality, the same mentality that Ann Cordes brought to the volleyball court. So I think in that respect, it's big time. It's a young, hungry coach. I say young, but like we're the same age.
Young
But
to me,
yeah, young in the terms of head coaching, and
right?
she's gonna get a chance, and she's excited. Like it's an exciting hire. It's someone local from the area. She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be able to recruit the area well. Hopefully, that's the plan. I think if you're looking to inject some energy into a program that spent 10 years under an incredibly stale personality at the helm, like Andrea Beaty is the perfect 180 turn from Kent Miller.
It's interesting too to say that because when you look at her 2 years at SLU, she was an Ann Cordes recruit, played for Ann Cordes, Rookie of the Year in the A10, and then left. After the coach that she would eventually replace was hired. That to me is kind of a really interesting dynamic. In just a little over a decade, she goes from playing for a coach, who didn't recruit her, who she didn't come intend to play for, goes to being his replacement as head coach at this program. One of the things I liked at the end of the original press release that SLU put out was they did have quotes from like 5 or 6 different coaches just talking about the hire. And I know it's a lot like having your book blurbed by your literary peers, and they're not going to say not his best stuff. She's done better work in the past. They're going to say good stuff. But I did like a lot of the things they had to say here, Zach. And I'm wondering if in reading these, or in talking to anyone else, or in just what you've read and what you know, are you kind of hearing what other people think of this hire, and what the community thinks of it?
Yeah, I think, well, as far as I'm aware, I believe they did reach out to Ann Cordes for her reference, so to speak. I mean, not that you really need reference. I mean, you do need references, but
Yeah.
I mean, her body of work speaks for itself. But I think it was absolutely a great call to involve Ann in whatever way you can into making a hire. I think and obviously knows what it takes to win here at St. Louis University. And if she will, go to bat for Andrea, that's a ringing endorsement in my mind.
She seems like a person who is not a BSer, Ann Cordes. She seems like she's kind of a straight shooter, and she's going to tell you what
That
she thinks.
I would agree with that, and she'll be in your face while she does it too. So, no, I think I'm super excited for Beaty to get going, and I think it's absolutely the right hire. I want to say this, and I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but look, like we talked about when Kent Miller was originally hired. There's a lot of people who talked about how that when they were going to hire people, the response they were getting was like, I like the job, but not at that price. Uh, and I think if again you're looking for to try to go with a hire that's maybe not an established head coach, one that's an absolute home run, 5-star lock that they're going to turn the program around. You have to bring in somebody who brings the type of energy that a young coach like Beaty can bring. Because I mean, you had that with Ann Cordes. You tried the 180 from Ann Cordes. You brought in a guy who was an established head coach with a long history in the sport of volleyball. And I mean, the program stagnated and definitely regressed. So by bringing in a young, hungry coach, you could absolutely do worse if your compensation hasn't changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
absolutely you go up and coming. It's hard to do in basketball if that's the kind of thing you're going to do. It's hard. In the major sports, soccer is a tough one. Obviously they did very well with Katie Shields, but yeah, I think this is absolutely the right move and a home run hire for what it is.
Katie Shields is somebody who immediately came to mind. I mean, somebody who was kind of, around this age bracket when she was hired as the head coach of the women's soccer program. And I think that's probably the level, that's the person that, if you're Chris May, that you're trying to hire for every other program, every chance you get, right? Like you're looking for the person who's just at the right part of their career. Between up and coming, right level of experience, right person, the right cultural fit. May is huge on culture. He's always talking about cultural fit. So that's got to happen here too. How do you think the AD, not just May, but the department, whatever, the school, how do you think they handled the process here? I mean, you seem pretty pleased with the turnaround time being a month or just over a month.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. I thought, they waited a little long to fire Kent Miller if they were gonna do it. Obviously, like I'm not saying like years wise, I'm saying like from the end of the season. But yeah, no, I have no complaints. I think it's quick turnaround time. They knew who they wanted. I mean, it seems that Chris May, for the most part, when it comes to his hires, he knows he has somebody in mind already. He's already replacing a head coach 6 months before he actually lets them go in his head. Like that's as far as I can like gather from every hire he's ever made. I do think it's a huge compliment to I think the reason why Beaty will be successful here. I think you look at, she was the interim coach twice. Twice she was put in charge of Syracuse's program to guide that program after a firing. She was chosen to an even bigger chosen to lead Denver while their coach was fighting a battle against cancer. Now you bring in, so you're bringing in someone who was entrusted by, multiple athletic departments to guide a program in turmoil. You bring her in. Now she's back in her home area. She's got those Rockwood Thunder connections. She's got, just St. Louis in general. It's a massive volleyball market. We talk to people that are close to the show who are in the volleyball community, and they all said, you can absolutely win if you get the actual legit Division I talent. If you get one or two of those players, and then you fill it out with, the really good St. Louis players. If you focus on St. Louis recruiting, you can win the A10 going away every year. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
We get that message a lot. It seemed like when we were kind of, scouring a little bit for information after Kent Miller, like who would we hire? What do they need to bring? One of the things that I, and take it for what it's worth, it was posted by somebody on Billikens.com. But one of the things that was posted there was that they think May talked to someone on the board of trustees or someone high level at the university who's kind of connected to the local volleyball scene. And they wanted to make sure they got this hire right from a club, a local club, regional club, and recruiting perspective. Like that had to be just the right person, because I think the message that you just said right there, that you can win the A10 if you start picking off this local talent, keeping them home, building that culture, you can absolutely win this league and make yourself a regular in the NCAA tournament. Whether or not that's the exact connection that they made, it seems like that's the message here.
Yeah, I agree. And again, you bring in a person who has those deep connections with the local volleyball scene. It's not even that you need to be, necessarily connected to a certain player. Like you don't have to,
right?
You don't have to know Jay Blossom's daughter. I mean, but you look at that and I don't know, does she want to take a grad transfer year? Now, you've got this St. Louis raised coach that knows all these girls that are away. It's just like when, Corey Tate, don't even forget Corey Tate, Kalish. It's Kevin Kalish. You look at the guy who he came in from Gallagher, and automatically all these dudes from St. Louis that are like, I played for Kalish when I was a kid. While, I know Kalish, I know Stoll, come on back home. It's the same. And a little bit with Tate too, on the basketball side, like a guy like Pickett, in keeping the local high schoolers home. But I will say, before we move on, I have to say that obviously, Andrea, we want you on the show as quickly as possible. She knows that.
We've already reached out.
Yeah. I gave her I gave her a text as soon as I heard the news. I was super pumped, and she's I'm hoping to get her on the show ASAP.
I wonder if during her conversations with the athletic department, if they warned her about us.
Well,
there are these two idiots who are going to reach out to you really soon.
So it is obviously humorous because I was kind of in my head laughing because when I went over to say hi to Beaty, she's sitting next to Chris May. And so I was like, do I want to associate her with me? I was like, well, he knows, so not like he doesn't know. But yeah, no, I'm pumped, Pete. I'm excited to be excited about Billiken Volleyball again, and I definitely will be getting some season tickets.